Okay guys, we're going to make a melting clock pendant, like from Salvador Dali's Persistence of Memory. So you're going to have a small amount of Sculpey. You don't need a whole lot because we're going to make something that could be hung on a chain or on a necklace or on a bracelet or whatever, right? So it doesn't need to be big. So first what I'm going to do is take off a little bit, maybe about that much. This is going to be for detail stuff. Maybe a little more. Okay, so about like a little less than half, almost half, take it off. So this part's going to be the face of the clock. It's going to be the actual melty section shape. So what I'm going to do first is kind of just start pinching it to make it sort of flattish. Okay, when I got it to about that thick, then I can start kind of pulling it in different directions to make it melty. So maybe I'll pinch a little bit here, maybe I'll pull a little bit there. I'm just trying to make it a little bit melty looking. Okay, so now I've got this kind of melty weird shape. You don't want it super thin. That's about as thin as you want to get it. Okay, if it gets too thin, it would break or burn while it's cooking. This is polymer clay, so you cook it in like a toaster oven or a regular oven, and it gets hard. Okay, so that's the shape I'm going to go with, sort of like this. So now I'm going to take my other thing. Oh, what also you don't want to do is like squish it on the table to make it flat, because then it'll just be stuck to the table. Just use your fingers. I don't want to see anybody squishing. So now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to pull up a little bit again. Maybe about this much. This will be for like details and stuff. And then I'm going to start rolling this out and try to make a little snake. You can use the table for this, but don't push hard. And you want to make a snake that's the same length all the way down. So just very softly roll it until the whole thing is skinny, like that. If it's too fat, keep rolling. I think that part's too fat. Okay, if it gets too skinny, it'll break. You see there, it's getting a little too skinny. So I'm going to stop. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to go around the edge but on top. So see how it's sitting like sort of on the top of the shape, like that. And I'm just tracing my shape with this. And as I go, I'm kind of pushing it down just very softly to make it stick a little bit. Tracing my shape, and this is going to be like the watch frame, like, you know, the golden part around the watch or the silver part. Go back up to the top and stop. And when I get stopped, I can pinch the end, and there we go. So now there's my little watch ring. Now the important part here is that I make sure I squeeze it a little bit and even maybe pinch the edge. See how I'm making that seam go away by pinching, pinch, pinch. I want to keep it there because I want it to look like the face of a clock, but on the edges I want to pinch a little bit so the seam goes away some, because otherwise that whole thing could just pop off after it's baked. So give it a little pinch on the edge there. There we go. There's the face of my melty clock so far. Now I've still got this, which is good because I can make the little top of the clock, the little thing that it can hang from. So I'm going to make a little loop. I'm going to pinch it off. So I've just got a little loop here. And I'm going to put that on the top of my clock. Make sure it's smoothed in again, because if you just stick stuff on without smoothing it in or without rubbing it in, it will just break off after you bake it. Okay, so far that's my little clock. So I've still got this, and I've saved this piece, so I'm gonna have a little extra, which is fine. We'll put it back when we're done. I'm gonna take a very small amount, very tiny amount, and I'm gonna roll it in my fingers to make a circle and put it in the middle of my thing. I'm not gonna push this down yet because I want to make sure it's where I want it before I push it down. Okay, and I'm gonna take another very small piece, but this time I'm going to twist until I have a little tiny stick. Then I'm gonna pick what direction. So what number should this be pointing towards? Let's say up like that. So it's like gonna be 20 towards sort of 1 o'clock. And then we'll do it one more time. Tiny piece, roll it in our fingers. And then pick a direction I'll put down here. So it's 1:30. Okay, and now I can kind of push the whole thing down. And there's my little hands on my clock. Now after it's completely baked, I'll be able to go back and write the numbers in with a super thin Sharpie. That would be too hard to make those out of the clay. Also, I can paint the silver gold edge, or use a paint pen or whatever, or silver and gold Sharpie. One more thing I do want to do. You can have me help you with this. I'm going to get a sharp pencil or a tool, and I want to write my initials on the back, real soft. So I'm going to write Miss C for Castillo. You guys could just write your initials in class code. So like if your name's John Brown, you'd write JB, and if you're in Pleasant 5th grade, you'd write P5, JB P5 on the back. But I'll help y'all with that so you don't mess up your stuff. Alright, there it is. I'm going to bake it, and then we'll see about the writing the numbers and the painting after I bake it. Hey guys, so my melty clock is dry. Well, baked, so it's hard now. So what I'm going to do is the detailing. First, I'm going to paint the part of the clock that's supposed to be metallic. So you'll have some paint on a palette probably, but I'm just going to do it out of the jar. And I'm going to go around and very carefully paint the rim of my clock. I'm trying not to touch where I've already painted because obviously it's not dry yet. You can see I'm doing it on a piece of paper so I don't paint all over the table. If you get some on the face of the clock, you can hurry and wipe it, and hopefully it won't stick too bad. But this is paint that I have here does stay in clothes, so you'll have to be careful and only get it on like a paper. If you get it on your hand a little bit like that, make sure it's dry. So I like just rub it, and when it's dry, then that's fine. See, it won't get on anything else, and you can wash your hands later. Alright, just kind of go around making sure I got the details of my metallic clock here. And I don't really care about the back, no one's going to see that. Just getting the sides and the top. Okay guys, I'm going to let that dry. Last part, time for the detailing after the paint is dry. Yep, dry enough. So I've got a very, very thin Sharpie here. You guys have to be careful with these. See the little tip? They're breakable, so people break the tips off of them all the time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and write numbers around. And remember, the numbers don't have to be perfect because the clock's melting. So if they're kind of dripping or going in the wrong place, it's not a big deal. I'm also going to kind of outline my little hands here so they're easier to see. So only use a Sharpie and Sculpey after it's been baked, otherwise you're going to mess up your Sharpie. Get it all full of clay. The 4 is going to kind of be melty. The 5's all dripped there. And the 6, whoa. There we have my Salvador Dali style melted rock. And you can put a little chain through there, or a little twine or something. And it's a little pendant. Oops. The back is blank, but the front is what we're looking at here. Okay guys, bye.